Hi, my name's John. Welcome to part 16 in a series of short videos all about the metal turning lathe. In this episode, or this instalment, I'm going to carry on from last week's all about taper turning, and I'm going to show a different type of taper turning by offsetting the tailstock. Anyway, that's enough talk. I'll bring the camera in and we'll start offsetting things. In the last video on taper turning, we used the compound slide. The limiting factor with the compound slide is the length of taper you can turn, because you haven't got a great deal of travel on the compound slide, especially on smaller hobby lathes. This method of taper turning means you can turn really long gradual tapers. It's called offset taper turning, and you offset the tailstock towards me, which means that the bar will be in the lathe in an angle, so you're taking more off this end than you are off that end, and you can cut really long gradual tapers. The thing you've got to do though is turn between centres. You obviously can't have the bar and a chuck at one end and offset centre this end, because it'll fight against the centre. I was going to do a video all about turning between centres, so I'm just going to jump the gun a little bit here and show you a quick setup for turning between centres. So instead of putting a chuck on this end, I've put my face plate. You normally use what they call a catch plate, but I haven't got a one. I did have a one and I made a chuck back plate out of it actually, but this will do the job. So in here we need a centre. This is called a dead centre. So there's an adapter that goes in there. It takes it down to Morse taper number 3. So I'm going to make a new dead centre out of the Morse taper 3 that we made last week. So I'm going to put that into there, give it a little tap just to make sure it's nicely seated. I'm going to part this off. Then I'm going to machine a 60-degree taper on there, and this is going to be the taper we're going to use on this end of the bar. And it's got to be dead on centre of the lathe, because I'm going to machine it. If you put a centre in there that hadn't been machined on this lathe, it wouldn't be 100% true. Right, so we'll part this off, then machine a taper onto it. And doing this will test how good a taper I've actually managed to make on there. The normal method of making sure that the parting tool is nice and square to the job. I'll try a little bit more speed than that. That doesn't feel nice, so I'm going to finish it off with a hacksaw. I keep mentioning that board. It's very important that you put a piece of board in when you're parting off, or you're using a hacksaw, because when you break through, it doesn't matter if you hit that, but if you hit your lathe bed, well, you'll not be happy. Some people call them witness marks. I call them clumsy bastard marks personally. Right, I'm going to machine the taper on now using the compound slide. things up a little bit. with a nice sharp point. Okay, so we've got our two centres, a dead centre there and a live centre or a revolving centre there. So the workpiece now is a piece of that same bar, and I've just centre drilled each end. That goes onto there, that one goes into there, and now that piece of bar is running dead through the axis of the lathe. The beauty about turning between centres, as I'll demonstrate when we actually come to do it, is that you can take that out and put it back in and it'll be perfect. It won't change, where with a chuck you've got to start setting the chuck up. You can also swap it end to end. Turning between centres is still widely used. Now obviously you need something to drive it with, because that's just going to spin, so we put a driving dog on here which I'll set up now. Right, that's a driving dog. That's a really old one. It's obviously had a lot of stick. I think I bought that one at a car boot sale. I just couldn't resist it. I knew that gets tightened onto there. If you're worried about the shaft getting damaged, you'd put some copper or some aluminium packing between the drive dog and the material you're going to machine, just some packing in there. Right, so next we need a pin in here to drive the dog with. This is why it's called a catch plate, because it would come round and it would catch the drive dog. At least I think that's why they call it a catch plate. Right, so I'll put something in there to drive onto that, and then there, you ready? Something simple like that will do the job quite nicely. Just a bolt. You've got to be aware when all this is driving around and spinning around that you don't get yourself caught in there. It's not, you've got to be aware of what you're doing. Okay, so that's going to drive that quite nicely. Okay, so we'll start the lathe up. You can see the shaft spinning. Now we're going to offset this end, bring it towards me, so the shaft's going to be in the lathe pitched at a bit of an angle like that, and we're going to machine a taper on it. I'm not just going to machine any taper, I'm going to machine another number 2 most taper. You're limited to the angle you can machine, because obviously as you offset it, you're losing your contact area on your centres. I did a really long taper once, and I actually used balls, put ball centres in to get the big long taper out, so I can find that bit of video and possibly put it in a little bit later on. So we're going to turn another number 3 most taper. So the first thing I've got to do is turn this shaft down to the major diameter. Right, the size is 9380 of an inch. I've converted that to metric just to make things easy for yourself. And I need basically 1.1 mil off there. It's important that you get the size right. I'm going to put a 1/2 mil cut on, or just under 1/2 mil. Right, I've machined the section of bar down to the right size. I've got to make sure it's the same size at both ends. Exactly the same size at both ends, it's important. It is, because the lathe is set up nice and true. Now I could take that out of the lathe and put it back in, and it would just be exactly the same as it is. That's the beauty about turning between centres. I'm going to put a clock gauge on there now, just to make sure that there's no taper in it at all. It's not the best finish in the world, because it's just ordinary mild steel, but basically that bar is parallel. Now we want to make a taper on it, and the taper for number 3 most taper is 50.02 thou to the inch. So I need to make sure that this moves over 0.502 per inch. I'm going to do it over 2 inches, which gives it a bit more accuracy. You could do over 3 or 4, but 2 is good enough. So what I'm going to have to do is offset this bar so that that dial gauge moves 50 thou, because I'm measuring half the angle, right in the radius, 50 thou over 2 inches. I can measure the 2 inches using a dial ruler. So on the tailstock, there's 2 bolts, one there, one on the other side, and these push and pull, or just to push the tailstock forward or backwards, way up towards me. There's a mark on the back which shows when it's lined up. I actually hate doing this, I hate disturbing it, but so if I loosen that off, because that's what clamps it together, it's actually on dovetail, so it will come this way towards me. So we'll push this in, tighten this one up. You see how the clock gauge is moving. We want 50. In case of it just needs one and turn, pushing against the other one. It's just over 50. So we'll put it dead on the mark at 50, it's going to be. Right, I've played around with this quite a bit now. It's dead on centre height. 0 it, and I'll use my dial ruler to wind it up for 2 inches. 1, 2 inches, and it's just under 50 thou. So I'm going to tweak it a little bit more, because we want to just do over 50 thou. And so 0 again. That looks really good, really good. Right, so now it's just a case of machining straight along, and that's going to put the taper on. It's going to put more from this end. See what's running out. So we need to turn this end down to the minimum diameter of the most taper. I'm going to put a power feed on and just put up with a noisy transition gearing for the minute. There's a shot there looking straight down the lathe. I hope you can actually see the offset of the bar, the angle it's lying at. It's putting a nice taper on there. I'm going to keep checking these tension on these lathe centres. Basically should be the taper finished. The length of the taper is actually 3.1, which is basically what it was on the. That looks good. I'm going to put a little chamfer on there, and I'm going to polish it, and then we'll do a little bit of a test fit on it. Just going to very light. Right. This method of polishing always gives a good result. Using the power feed to pull every tape up. A little bit of tension on it, and you kind of get a really good finish. The one guy showed me this when he was repairing hydraulic rams, and he did some absolutely amazing work. it's not taking much off, it's basically just polishing it, but it's taking an equal amount off because it's travelling at a constant speed using the power feed. See the oil's coming off, silvery, so it is removing metal, but not much. Gorgeous that. Really nice finish. As long as it's the right tape, I'll be a happy man. I did put a little bit of tape around the drive dog. Right, so that's the taper. We'll get our test piece. Right, that's good, that's on. Bollocks, that's on now. Put a little bit of engineer's blue on here and then see what sort of contact area we're getting. Right, a nice thin coat, thinner the better really. Pretty good. Good contact there, really good contact down there. In the middle there. Nothing the matter with that. That's as good as a factory. Oh, it's really getting really getting a grip that. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I enjoyed making it, because I really did enjoy machining that taper, and when it went into that socket that fit was really nice. It made it all worthwhile. I hope you've learnt a little bit. If there's anything you'd like us to cover, all you've got to do is send us an email. That's my email address up there. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. The next video is obviously going to be showing you how to set up the lathe to turn straight again, how to get the offset back out of the tailstock. That's about it really. Anyway, thanks for watching.